Okay, okay. It's now I'm.
Yeah, how are you, sir?
Fine, sir. Fine. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm Dr. Govardhan Swami, Civil HOD.
Sir.
Nice to see you on the screen from
Same
Oman.
to.
Thank you, and thank you for accepting to deliver, webinar talk to our students, so that it will be more practically useful for them. I think our students fortunate to hear your webinar talk, and I request all the students to get more benefit from that this talk. And I congratulate my faculty Puttraj MH for taking effort and initiation to talk to you and arranging this international webinar on Google Meet platform. Once again, thank you, Ansar, for being on the line, and you can continue your talk, and please keep it in touch with our department. Whenever we need any expert from you, let's hear from you. Okay?
Definitely.
Thank you and welcome again. Thank you. Thank you. You can go ahead, Ansar. You can go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your supportive talk. We have such a wonderful person as a HOD, and we will do much more things in the future. Thank you, sir. And sir, now you can continue your presentation with your introduction. Thank you.
Okay. Let me begin. Puttraj, can you confirm me whether I am audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible. Clearly audible.
Okay, you can see the presentation, right? Means the PPT, right? Hello, Puttraj, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You are not.
You can see the presentation also, right? That PPT also you can see, no? Can anyone please confirm whether the presentation is visible to you?
Yes, Ansar, you can continue. Now it's visible.
Okay, okay. Welcome all. Hope you are doing fine. This webinar is being recorded by Puttraj for your further reference. It will be uploaded, I think, in your YouTube channel. There is another thing. There is a chat option available in the top right side corner of your screen. You can use this function whenever if you have any query on. Okay, let me begin with my introduction. I am Ansar Aziz, quantity surveyor working for Services and Trade Company LLC, Oman, having 7 years of experience in this field. I completed my engineering degree, civil engineering degree from KVG College of Engineering, Sulia, and went on to complete my master's in quantity surveying from University College of Estate Management, London. I recently got certified as a project management professional from Project Management Institute, USA. Now, along with my work, I am doing my structured training for the chartership on the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, London. This is my brief introduction. Today's topic is regarding a topic called value management. I will give just an introduction on it. This is definitely maybe a new term for you guys, but as you enter into the job market, can you mute your voice?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Then okay, it's a small introduction on value management. This is now gaining much more importance during these pandemic times where cost cutting is at its peak. It's not about cost cutting. It's basically not about cost cutting. It's about like removing the unnecessary cost from the product. This is basically tends to increase the value of the product. Okay, I will just explain to you guys with an example regarding the value, cost, and price. For example, if you consider, for example, I am going to purchase I want to purchase a smartphone. Okay, I did my market research. I did my market research and found out that a 6 GB RAM mobile or 64 megapixel camera or 5000 mAh battery, a latest Qualcomm processor, and all. These are the function I required from a phone, from my smartphone. I'm looking for this smartphone. What is the worth for me? What is the worth for me is the value of the product. I am willing for, let us consider I am willing to pay this smartphone which provides me all these functions worth of 20,000. This is my perspective on this phone. Okay, I come across your store and you are the manager. Let's assume you are the manager. You can see here. Okay, you are the manager and you offered me a phone called Z1. Okay, let us consider it as Z1, and you offered me a phone. And you asked me, you offer means you tell me this is the phone. This provides all these functions. Okay, I will check in the other online shopping markets and all, and I found out that the price is 19,500. Okay, now you also intelligent manager. You know what is the exact price offering by other shopkeepers, and you offer me at a price of 18,000. You offer me a price of 18,000. Okay, I am happy now. It's my value for that product is 20,000. I am getting it at around 18,000. I am happy. I am going to purchase it. Okay, this difference, this value and price difference is called consumer surplus. This is a commercial term. You just remember the term. No need to worry about this term. This is for the sake of example. I'm bringing these terms to you. This difference between the value and the price is called consumer surplus. Now you you as a manager is well aware that the exact cost of the product is 16,000. Cost means it will manufacturing cost, transportation cost, and other overheads and all. It all inclusive cost is 16,000, and you sold me the product for rupees 18,000. Now you are happy because you gained a profit. You provided the your firm a profit of 2,000. Okay, the product. Now coming back to the product, what the product created the value. What the in market, what is the value it created is called value created. Okay, the more the value, the better the the product will be. It means the better the consumer will be happier to purchase it. Okay, now what can you, how can you make this firm, now you are happy that you are getting a 2,000 profit. How can you make it happier? How can you become more happier? By increasing the profit, right? How can you increase the profit? Either by increasing the price of the product or decreasing the cost, reducing the cost. Okay, now in this present situation, there is a huge competition going on. If increasing the price, you could have sold me to 18,500 also. I could have easily purchased because my value is 20,000. Okay, but you didn't do that, but you sold me at 18,000. It is also advisable not to, in this present means competitive world, it's not easy to increase the price. It's not advisable to increase the price, because for example, if I go to another store, the same mobile, the same smartphone providing same function, which another company if you provided at 17,000, I could have purchased that. Okay, or for example, if for the same 18,000, another smartphone company provided much more function, I could have purchased that. Okay, it's not advisable to increase the price, but there is an option for you that to reduce the cost. Okay, this is what value management does, removing all the unnecessary cost from the product so that you can make the product so that you can keep the value intact by reducing the cost. Okay, now coming to the its definition part, value management can be defined as a ratio of value management can be defined as a ratio of function divided by cost. How can you increase the value? by integration of, there are 4 options I have provided in this slide. You can see the slide. There are 4 options. Okay, integration of more function along with a low cost increase. This is one option. You add more function with a little cost increase. This will add value. Another option is cost reduction without changing function. You reduce the cost, keep the functions, keep the functions intact. You can increase the value. Removing unnecessary function and their cost. Remove all the unnecessary function which does not add value to the product and their cost. That will increase the value. For example, if I say, when I first purchased a smartphone, there are so many other features which are never used. Like before Bluetooth and all, there was infrared ray. You maybe heard of this infrared rays and other many things. FM radio was provided by the smartphone manufacturer. Now they understood that this is not the function. This is not the function which the users are attracted. There are other functions which we have to concentrate. Remove the function which are not at all useful to the customers and their cost, thereby increasing the value. This is how another option we can increase the value. Another last one is integration of more function alongside with the cost reduction. You add more function with the cost reduction, that also increases the value. Okay, this is a theoretical representation. In practically, each person has a different perspective regarding the value. Okay, for example, if you take the same smartphone example, if you take for some person a Redmi or Xiaomi or Realme, whatever budget phones is there, no, that provides a value for money. For some customers, iPhone provides value for money. iPhone, even though it's very much costlier than the budget phones, like it has the same function, it will provide the same function as the budget phone also, but their customers are attracted towards it, maybe because of its brand value or the quality of the function it is providing. There may be some reasons. Okay, another thing what I want to add is quality. Quality is very important to maintain the value. If you remove unnecessary cost by implementing low quality value, that will not add value. Quality should not be compromised to increase the value or reduce the cost. Okay, then I will now in the next slide I will show some examples how we compare the value is compared in our day-to-day lives. When you enter into a construction professional, you come across such situations. Okay, let us consider I'm a quantity surveyor. A client is coming to me and he's taking my advice. He wants advice from me that he wants to renovate. He wants to demolish his old office building and construct a new office building. He wants my advice on which one will be the more value, which one will provide more value. How I analyze is that there are so many costs involved in reconstruction. Okay, there is cost of demolition, cost of new construction, such as design cost, construction cost, loss of rentals of old buildings during redevelopment. There are so many costs involved. If the rents provided by the new building, outweigh all these costs, then constructing a new building will be a value for money. Okay, there are many other factors affecting the rents. Okay, there should be a demand in the market for the new building. There should be people waiting for office or waiting for the who are in need of the office spaces for their business development, business establishment. You have to identify that market. And you have to come up with this will constructing a new building will give you increased rents. Then that increased rents, if it outweigh all the cost of the redevelopment, then that new building will be a value for your money. Okay, next example I will take. Power from solar panels against the electrical grid. This is a general example I am taking. You may make there are many other these are the two options. The basic function, what is the function of these two? The function of these two is to to power your house or to power your office space. Okay, now you have to compare the value of this. For example, how you compare this value of this? means you have to consider the whole life cycle costing of these two types. One is solar panel and other is electricity from the electrical grid. Okay, you have to consider the whole life cycle cost of, compare the whole life cycle cost of both these. Okay, or you consider if you are planning to occupy a new building and for 20 years, how you will consider the whole life cycle cost. Whole life cycle cost is the cost of installation and operating cost. Installation cost for the solar panels will be much higher, maybe 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs or something. The initial cost will be much higher, but the operating cost will be minimum. It has operating costs like such as maintenance to the batteries, cleaning of the glass panels and all. It has maintenance, but the operating cost is minimum. Whereas in solar, this electrical grid, the initial cost is very minimum, but the operating cost will be much higher than the solar panel. We have to compare the cost, how it is weighing, which one weighs more. That should be selected. That will be the value for your money. This is how value is analyzed. Okay, next, another example if I take, it's an example of an okay, you are a construction professional and you have to excavate 1 lakh cubic meter of hard rock soil. Okay, two vendor comes to you offering their excavators to hire. Okay, one excavator is 20-ton capacity, another excavator is 45 ton capacity. Okay, 20-ton capacity will cost you 1 lakh per month. Another one for 45-ton capacity will cost you 4 lakh per month. Which one you will choose? Okay, this will depend on the productivity of the excavator. Okay, productivity in the sense, for example, 20-ton capacity takes 5 months to complete the job. Means 1 lakh, it requires 5 months to excavate and transport 1 lakh cubic meter of hard rock soil. Okay, what will be the cost to the company? It will be 5 lakhs. 5 into 1 lakh, it will be 5 lakh. It will be the cost to the company. Let us see the 45-ton capacity. It completes a job within 1 month. It has higher capacity and the productivity is good, and it will help you complete the job within 1 month. What will be the cost? 4 lakh. Now the 20-ton capacity is 5 lakh, 45-ton capacity is 4 lakh will be cost to you. Then choosing 45-ton capacity will be a value for you. Okay, this is how value is analyzed in general. Now coming to the origin of value management, it was Lawrence Miles. Okay, during the 1940s, during the Second World War, US manufacturing industry was running at its peak to supply the war front. Obtaining a specific component due to confidentiality, what is that specific component, we don't know. But obtaining that specific component, some of the specific component was very difficult. Okay, Lawrence Miles was a purchasing manager in General Electric Company, USA, and he was assigned the task by his company to procure that material. Okay, Lawrence Miles did his job. He gone through many markets, many contacts, and he could not able to procure that material, and comes up with an idea that if we can't get the part, we must get the function. Okay, the basis of this is what this means is if first analyze the functional requirement, means what is the function of that component, what function that component provides to you. Okay, then analyze, then go for the alternative materials which will provide the same function. Okay, when applied to this one scenario, it was like there were so many materials. Which not only delivering the function, but also at a lesser cost. Thus, the philosophy of value management arrived. Eliminate all costs that does not contribute to the performance of the required function. Okay, this was the philosophy of the value management. Remove all the cost, remove all the unnecessary cost for the unnecessary facilities which does not contribute to the performance of the function. Remove it and it will save the money. Okay, Miles named this approach as value analysis, and later he termed that as value engineering. Today it is called as value management. Okay, value management in construction industry now. Now, let us see how, when and why in value management is becoming popular in construction industry. Okay, it was during the 19 means okay, US. After US, it was Australia. The next country started implementing value management. It's they were the first country to implement value management extensively in the construction industry, and later UK adopted it, and now many parts of the world, many parts of the country, many parts of the world, this value management is being implemented. Okay, there, especially in the construction industry, if you see, there are many unnecessary costs. If there is unnecessary cost in every design, we can say there is, and the unnecessary cost is endemic to the construction design. For example, if we say we will plan in the general means day-to-day construction activity, we will plan something and execute something. Okay, later at later stages, we come to know that, oh, this could have done differently. This could have done, if we could have done differently, if you could. If we had done this in that way, the cost could have drastically reduced. Then the blame game start blaming each other. This is mainly because there is a lack of idea, lack of time. They will not invest time in analyzing the situation. The lack of cost analysis, lack of information, lack of benchmark to measure it. Okay, these are the, now comes the value management, how it's going to help. Value management brings together all the people. The main benefit of value management, introducing value management, was they brings together all people, like designers, starting from the owners, the contractors, designers, quantity surveyors, engineering, means almost all key stakeholders of the project. They come together, sit together in a conference, understand the problem, understand the design, understand the scenario. Then they will share their expertise, they share their knowledge to identify the best solution which will give the better value for money. This is what value management is, the process of value management. Okay, there is a much more demand from demand for value. The customers are asking for the value. Okay, there is the one reason is the greater competition. There is much greater competition nowadays in the marketplace. The company has to, not only for their sustainment, they are for survival, they are using value management. Okay, for example, in the day-to-day life, if you see the example, if you take a person, for example, a person is looking for an apartment. Let us consider, for your design, you are looking for an apartment. If he has a school going child, then he will choose an apartment near that school. Okay, that apartment will be a value, that building will be a value for his money than the distant apartment. The same way, a person going to office going person, apartment near his office will be a value for his money. Okay, first analyzing the market value is important. Before designing, before constructing, before thinking of constructing a building, analyzing the market, what is value, market value is very much important. Then only the project gets successful. Now, okay, this is one main point. Another point is there are many other factors which there is why value management is now being implemented extensively in construction industry. Other reason is, in many of the developed countries, it's become mandatory to provide best value to the customers. Any developer should provide best value to their customers. Now it's mandatory to include in their procurement guidance how value management has conducted, what are the benefits of conducting it, what are the value it has created by conducting value management. This is become mandatory in all contractual documents like procurement guidance and all in developed countries. Okay. Another thing is the present situation, the economic condition of many builders has become worse than before. Okay, for example, only if we consider we are the main contractors, one client has offered a project, means we have entered into a project of 30 million, and the COVID-19 started. Okay, now the client has no budget, means for that 30 million budget, he wants, if we want to continue the project, we have to reduce the cost by 30%. Then only the project can be on. That's why or else it will be off. That was the condition, and our management sit with sat with their management, discuss the ideas, discuss the shared the expertise, shared the knowledge, and came up with a solution, and they could reduce the cost by 20%. This was a real life example what I can do, what I can give you. This is how value management is increasing. This is not only example of our organization. There are many other organizations facing the same problem, and they are implementing value management. That's why I want to bring this value management to you guys, because it is gaining importance, and you should know. And it's not means it should know the thoroughly the principles of it. You should know at least the concept of it. That's why I brought this topic. When Putraj asked me to give some topic, that's why I chose this topic. Why? Because it is gaining importance in the construction industry. Okay, now let us see the definitions of value management. Definition of value management: a structured process of dialogue and debate among a team of designers and decision makers during an intense short-term conference. The primary objective of value management are to develop a common understanding of the design problems, identify explicitly the design objectives, synthesize a group consensus about the comparative merits and alternatives, courses of action, including an initial functional analysis. Okay, what does this mean is, as I said, in this value management, what the process of value management is that all the people, all the stakeholders sit together in short-term conference. The objective of the sitting together in a conference is to identify, develop a common understanding of a problem. Common understanding. All should understand what is the problem. Then identify what are the objectives of the problem, means objectives of the project or product. Okay, then come up with a solution. Which will add value to the project, which will be the best value from the product, which will give best value from the product. This is what the basic definition of value management is. Then comes the value engineering. Value engineering definition. What is value means? I will read out: a systematic procedure aiming to achieve the required function at least cost. Value engineering is based on the assumption that all parties understand the function being provided. All feasible design alternatives provide the same level of parties understand the function being provided. All feasible design alternatives provide the same level of functional performance, and can therefore be assessed on the basis of cost alone. Okay, the same thing. What we do in the value management, the same thing we do in the value engineering also, but the timing is different. Okay, I will this value engineering and value management, they use interchangeably in the construction industry, but I will give a small example, so that you can understand what is value management and what is value engineering. Both are almost same. The process are also same, but the timing is different. Okay, value management is a macro level. You assume it as a macro level, and value engineering as a micro level. Okay, you are designing a apartment, and this is the plan. This I downloaded from Google. I got somewhere in the Google. Okay, let us consider your let us consider for excuse me, sorry. Now okay, there is a okay. Okay, value management. Now you're designing a building, and this is the plan you are proposing. And what value managers will ask now? Value managers will first of all question you, what is the function? Why are you constructing a building? Okay, then they will analyze each room. They will conduct value analysis with each room, like garage, whether it is actually required, whether it is adds value to the building. What is the purpose of bed 1? What is the purpose of bed 2, 3, bath, bed 4? Let us see the bed 4. Okay, how they analyze? They will analyze first what is the purpose of the building, what is the size and shape of that room, what is the value which will be added to the building, access to other rooms. They will investigate all other options available and come up with a solution. Okay, this is value management. Then okay, if it is selected, if it, yes, it means they come up with a result that bed 4 is actually requirement, then it will go to the value engineering. Value engineering is further analyzed into the lower part, means lower activities like flooring, the ceiling, false ceiling, let it be door. They will investigate each and every activity and comes out how means for following what they will check all the functions from the flooring, door and all, and they will come up with a option which will provide the performance of the function with the lowest cost. For example, let us say take the example of door. Okay, they will analyze, they will investigate on size, strength, durability, security, appearance, ease of use, type, means revolving or single shutter or double shutter, and then number and type of hinges, locking mechanism, heat and sound resistance, etc. Everything will be analyzed, everything will be studied in detail and come up with a response, come up with a solution which will provide the lowest cost, but means satisfying the required function. This is the simple example of value management and value engineering. Okay, now before going to the process, before going to the value management or value engineering process, let us see some case studies. These are the real life value management assignments. What I am going to explain you in the three. There are 3 case studies I will going to explain. These are the real value management assignments, and due to confidentialities, these details are anonymized. Okay, first the first case study we will let us know about the case of university library. University library. The client wants to construct a library for postgraduate students, for their postgraduate students, and the quantity surveyor estimated, and it was coming around 12 million pounds. Then it was floated, tender floated. Then the least cost received from the contractor was 18 million, which was 6 million more. Okay, then they sat together and discussed, and it found out that 18 million is a reasonable price. But the client was not happy because he wanted to pay another 6 million, and he was not happy. So he insisted to go for a validation study. Okay, VM team was brought in. VM team was assigned the task to conduct the validation study. What the question? How they means? What the question is? How the question is? First, they want to know what is the function of any building. Okay, in this case, they asked what is the function of the library. Why are you constructing a library? What is the function of the library? The client's answer was to provide a space for reading for postgraduate students, then stacking and storing their books. 2 spaces. Okay. Then the next question from value managers was who are the students? Students are basically, there are 2 categories of students who are there. One is art scholars, then science scholars. Science scholars, they were the majority were planetary science scholars. Okay, then they analyzed is what they analyzed is art scholars were using books extensively. They wanted books related to novels, old literatures, and all. They were using books extensively, but the science scholars, the planetary science scholars, were not interested in the books. They wanted information, day-to-day information, which was readily available in the journals and conference paper, and which could be easily accessed through internet. Okay, this was the requirement they analyzed, and what value management came to the conclusion that don't give duplicate space to the planetary science scholars. They are not going to use it. Give them a separate space. Give them a separate space with electronic access, with a lot of computers. They will use sit and study in that room. Don't duplicate the necessities. Don't duplicate the function of the present library. The result was that The science scholars was provided a separate room with electronic access, and the whole library was redesigned by removing the duplicate facilities. As a result, the unnecessary cost for the unnecessary facilities was removed, and the project was back into the budget. Okay, this is the case of university library. Next case is the case of military hospital. This case is the US Army is the client. US Army want to construct a hospital for their personnel and their dependents in Italy. Okay, they instructed the architect to design, and architect designed a typical box-shaped building, and it went to the tendering department for floating the tender. Okay, tendering during that time, suddenly the defense spending moratorium was implemented by US Army and US government, and the project was held. After a few years, the defense moratorium was lifted, and the project was back onto the table of the architects and this one tendering department. Now, originally the project was budgeted in US dollars, but the transaction currency was Italian lira. During this time, the Italian economy was had inflated much, and there was a much difference in the exchange rates of dollars and lira, and that's how the budget became extensively over budget. Now that this situation was handed over to value managers to study the validation to conduct the validation study. What they asked why is the hospital required, what is the function of the hospital. The answer from the client was to bring together patient and doctors. Who are the patient? Next question. The patient is someone with a cut finger or someone with a heart attack. There may be a different range of patients will be there. One with a cut finger or maybe with a heart attack. Okay, then there was third set of people where there was first set is doctor, second set patient. There was third set of people, administrative team for providing administrative support to the clinic and the patients. Okay, there are three predominant groups in the hospital. You'll be using the hospital, and the accommodation requirements of these groups were entirely different. Okay, for example, if I say for designing a classroom, if you're a designer and designing a classroom for a school, the size or sometimes shape also depends on the number of students using the facility, using the classroom. The same thing for a hospital. If you are designing a hospital, then the size and shape of the hospital depends on the number of beds, and number of the beds depends on the expected patients coming to the hospital. Okay, this is the basic principle. This is the basic principle of designing a hospital. Okay, next coming back to this case, there were three set of stakeholders, means accommodators like administrative staff, patients and doctors. And in patients only, all does not require bed. Their basic requirement is they come for consultancy also. They come for many other reasons. Their basic requirements is just a chair to sit and talk with the doctor. Okay, all the patient does not have the same, does not require the same accommodation facilities. So the accommodation facilities, then the solution was arrived. The value managers advised the building should be extensively redesigned, completely redesigned, and we will plan for a 3 blocks. One block for seriously ill patients, which will be operated 24/7. Other block will be for minor condition, which will be operated 8 AM to 6 PM. For other block for administration purpose. This redesign helped in reducing the cost, reducing much of the cost. This helped in complete redesign of the building, and the project was back into the budget. And also there was a considerable cost savings in the life cycle cost also. Okay, this is the case of a military hospital. Next, the case of let us excuse me. Next is the case of conflict manufacturer, a famous conflict manufacturer. The client is a famous conflict manufacturer, and he was happy with his production. He was happy with his production, but he was not happy with the distribution part or operating part. What do you call logistics? Okay, he was not happy with it. What he planned is to develop this distribution part. For that, he planned complete, means all over the country. The number he wants to open number of distribution centers. He wants to increase the vehicle fleet, like trailers and all. This was his plans, and came to the architect. What architect suggested is, this is a huge investment. Before investing it, please do the validation study. And the client went to the validation team, value managers, and value managers analyzed the situation, and they've agreed that the manufacturing unit is performing very good, but the distribution, there is a problem in distribution part. But on the contrary, what they advise to the client is, don't invest any other rupee or pound to the distribution part, because what they tell is logistic is an entirely different discipline. They require, the logistic organizations require complete different skill sets, management style, resources. For example, you can see DFL or FedEx and all, they have outlets or distribution units in all over the world. They have so much cargo, so much trailers, so much person working for them. This is a huge organization, and don't compare the management style with manufacturing and operation. They are entirely different. And what they suggested the client is, dear client, please stick into your manufacturing and hand over the distribution and enter into a contract with a distribution agency like FedEx or for example. Enter into a contract. They will efficiently store and distribute for you. Don't invest money and waste money, time, resource. Thus, the project was cancelled, and it has saved so much money, time, resources of the client. This is the another example of the case study, the value management implementation. Okay, next we will look into the process, value management process, how it is conducted. Okay, as I said, I'm repeating it. The first part is always sitting together. First part is all the key stakeholders, owners, contractors, designers, quantity surveyors, planning engineers, suppliers. Indeed, all key stakeholders will sit together, understand the problem first. They will understand the problem. What is the success criteria? What are the objectives of the project? What is the value criteria? These all understood by each and every person should understand this. Then only it will go to the next step of identifying different solutions. Each this is a difficult part. Identify for the engineers. They will have to identify means they have to identify many solutions for this. And the best part is there will be no judgment, no critique. Anyone can give any solution, whether it is not at all feasible, whether it's a idea or also you can write it down, anything in this. You have to give the solution. Okay, next step is evaluation will be done. All the solution whatever generated will be evaluated. Thus with the success criteria, value criteria, whatever done now in the first step, they will analyze, they will compare the solution is compatible with the criteria. If it is feasible, it will be selected for shortlisting. If it is not at all feasible, they will directly discard it. Okay, the next step, the shortlisted, whatever the shortlisted solution are there, no, in the step 3, they will develop the shortlisted solution in more detail. In more detail, they will in this designers are there is a bigger role for designers, They have to check whether this design is feasible or not. They are bigger role for quantity surveyors, where they will do cost analysis. Each solution's cost they will be analyzing separately, and they have to come up with solution if this solution is feasible or not. Okay, thus the shortlisted solution will be detailed, developed in more detail. In the next step, identify the best solution and make recommendation. This is the final step. In this, all key person will agree with one solution that will lead to the lead us to better value. This is the basic principle. This is the basic outline of the process, how the value management process is done. Each organization or each textbook or something reference books, you can see different, but the basic outline, they may be adding 2 or more steps, or they may be deleting 1 or 2 steps from here also, but the basic outline remains this. This is the basic outline of the value management process. Okay, next come the last slide, advantages of VM or value management or value engineering. I will read out. This is self-explanatory. The need for new projects is always verified. The first point. Second, identifies and reduces the product cost, modifies and improves the product design, increases the performance or utility of the product by economical means, helps to generate new ideas, create quality consciousness and cost consciousness among the employer, helps to save money and increase the profit, improves the ability to manage project, solve problems, innovate and communicate. Okay. This is all I want to know now. This is just an introduction of value management what I given. There is much more to know, but at this stage, this is very much sufficient for you guys. Okay, these are the bibliography which I referred. Next comes the question and discussion. Okay, if anyone has any doubt, you can use the chat option.
If anybody is having any doubts, you can raise your hand, you can ask. Okay, and sir, from my side, personally, I have a question. As you are talking about the cutting out of excess or waste money, what we are going to implement. Say, for example, when we are going for the construction of a house, usually the client will come up with the construction of G+1 building, but sometimes the engineer will design it for G+2 because nobody knows what may happen in the next. For that, they will give the one extension floor. Is it correct according to the value management or not? If according to the value management, if it is cut forth or if it is not being designed as per the requirement of the client, if it is designed as it is G+1, further if he wants to extend, then it is not possible. For that case, what they have to do?
No, Putraj, how the value managers approach any design is that first the question I explained in the 3 case studies how the approach is. First, the first question will be, what is the function of the building? They ask the client, what is the function what is the function of the building? The obvious answer what you told is, they are constructing it for their house. They want use it as a house. Okay. The next question is, how many people are going to stay? How many years you are going to use this building? It all depends the design part. Okay, if the building is actual requirement, if the building has 2 floor or should be designed for 2 floor or it should be stopped in the ground floor itself. It will be finalized in the earlier stage of it. It all depends on the client, what client wants it. If the clients wants G+1, now it will be reasoned out. If it clients was the only ground floor, it will be designed for ground floor. This is what value managers do basically. Then it will go to value engineering, where the cost cutting. No, it's removing unnecessary cost, designing to the minimum requirement is what value engineering does. Hope I explained. Hope you got the answer, Putraj.
Yes, I got it. Thank you. Does anybody else is there to ask any doubts? And according to the resource person, it was planned to just give the idea of the value management, and he wants to give once again in depth for the value management when you come to know about this. That's what the resource person has taken it as the very light to give the complete concept of value management and how to do that and what is the process and how we are going to do in the daily life, as well as when you are becoming a professional, how do you do that. For that purpose, it was organized. And thank you for your valuable talk at this international webinar, Mr. Ansar Aziz. So I request our HOD sirs to conclude the meeting.
Putraj?
Sir, please conclude the meeting. I request you, HOD sir, Dr. H.S. Govardhan Swami, to conclude the meeting.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ansar, for your valuable webinar talk. And we'll have a continued relationship like this. And whenever we request, kindly make yourself convenient and your availability to speak more topics.
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
Okay. So thank you very much. On behalf of the department, thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you
For providing the opportunity for hearing for last one hour.
It's our privilege to have you straight away from outside India and talking to us. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you all the participants for being a part of this international webinar. Thank you one and all. You can leave now. Thank you.